everyone wants to say they write for the big name magazines. But if the point is for you to be creative, the point is for you to be designing and telling stories, then you should find the best place to do that. I'm the managing editor of a medical journal that goes to emergency physicians. On the side, I've been launching a magazine for global health, which is really more has always been my passion, has been starting things and really trying to create from the beginning a magazine that never existed before. I went to Northwestern University from 2000 to 2005, and I came in as a radio, television, film major, but I always knew that I wanted to be a journalist. So I went to Medill and graduated with a degree in magazine journalism. So my situation is a little bit unique in that after I graduated, I worked briefly at Runner's World magazine and got a sense of the consumer magazine side, and I enjoyed that. And I was sort of faced with an option or an opportunity at the time, which was either pursue a path within the sort of the typical magazine track, go to New York, become an intern somewhere, or take this fledgling, at the time it was really a newsletter, take this fledgling newsletter and apply all of the skills and sort of creative juices that had been percolating at Northwestern and really make something and build something. One of the beauties of trying to start a business and of being in a place like Brooklyn where there's so much entrepreneurial energy is you get a sense that you can change things, and you get a sense that what you build really matters. And so, particularly with our Global Health magazine, my hope is that it would impact and improve emergency medicine around the world. And I think that as small of a project as it is now and as small as it began, I think it has that potential. Well, so we tell stories, whether it's the domestic magazine where we're conveying stories about emergency medicine or our Global Health publication. We're telling the story of how to provide care better, or how care is being provided around the world. And so for me as a graphic artist, we try to tell our stories as visually as possible, whether that means through images, through graphics, or through writing. And so we try to come at every story that we tell and say, just what is the best way to tell this story? I am always looking for inspiration. I have been a student of magazines and have loved magazines, which sounds a little funny, but I will go to Barnes & Noble and I'll study magazines while I'm there, and I'll see what trends appear as I look across the newsstand, how are people doing covers, and I will take 10 of my favorite magazines and I'll see how they're handling something as mundane as their table of contents, or I'll see what kind of informational graphics they're doing. And I'm obsessive enough that I'm constantly looking for ideas. When someone's reading a magazine next to me on the subway, I'll be taking notes about sort of what I see in that magazine, since I don't have time to see everything. I think when I was in school, there's plenty of lessons I wish someone would have told me then. One of which is probably that it's a long road, and there's time to try things out. There's time to be creative and explore. You don't have to know exactly what you want to do the minute you graduate. Some people told me that when I was in school, but there's a sense when you're 21, 22 that you have to come out of school and figure it out exactly. And I diverted and I worked at a very small company while many of my colleagues or many of my classmates were going to New York and getting internships at famous magazines. And so for a short amount of time, or for a period of time, I felt as though I was on the slow track. But there was plenty of time for me to build something, step aside, and try that out to see if it would work. And now I have the opportunity to be more creative than I think I would have been in another route. I think I've been designed to do this kind of work, or just designed to be creative.